So whenever there is a new knowledge cell or a brain cell, then there is something new for the brain to learn from that.
Sir,
Just a
I
second.
think others haven't joined.
Yeah, they'll join. Slowly they are joining.
Hmm.
So the experiences which the child is, like having, the opportunities with the which the child is getting, all these things affect the brain to learn something. So the development of brain also happens with experiences and opportunities that the child is getting. Apart from that, even the cognitive development and social interaction also has got, some role to play in the development of the brain. So one thing that we need to understand is it is designed to learn and remember new things through life. Okay, as long as it continues to be challenged and stimulated. The brain should always have some challenge and some stimulation. So based upon that, it will be learning new things. Next one, ma'am.
Learning is based on the associations and connections that children make. Children
Hmm.
are far from blank slates on which we can simply write pages and pages of information. They have knowledge and understandings based on their experience. They have intuitive theories about varied subjects. Nothing is ever recorded in a child's brain exactly as it is experienced. It is their interpretation of what they experience that becomes new knowledge. Interpretation is always in the light of whatever knowledge they already possess. Children are continuously fitting new experiences into existing knowledge and adjusting existing knowledge to allow new experiences.
Okay. So it is not that whatever knowledge we have, we can just write on the slate, which is called as the brain of the child. It is that whatever experience the child is facing in his or her life, through that experience, there is some interpretation that the child is doing, some knowledge that the child is building on his or her own. Okay. So through this only the child will be learning constantly. And whenever new experience is coming, he is, like solidifying it into a small part in his brain. And he is making more space for the new experience and for the new knowledge which he or she wants to gain from the experience. Next one.
Emotions are deeply connected to learning. Emotions are inextricably intertwined with attention, motivation, and cognition. Positive emotions such as curiosity, wonder, joy, and excitement aid attention, cognition, and memory, and therefore learning. Positive emotions are often best nurtured through positive relationships with teachers and among students. When students feel they belong in a classroom and they can trust their teacher and classmates, they feel free to try out and explore and learn better in the process. As trust grows, the classroom becomes emotionally safer and students have fewer obstacles to building their confidence and their learning.
Yes. It's a wonderful thing, isn't it? Like all the emotions of students are interconnected. Okay. And things like attention, motivation, and cognition are playing a very, significant role in increasing the positive emotions of the child. So, so called positive emotions are curiosity, wonder, joy, excitement, okay, attention, cognition, and memory. Apart from that, what is happening? Children always want to maintain a positive relationship with the teachers and the peers in the class. First and foremost thing is that they have to feel safer, okay, while conversing with the teacher and the peers. Once they feel that they are into a safe place, emotionally safe place, they try to explore and learn better, okay, through the experiences that they are, having in the classroom. That also builds the confidence to learn among the students. The learning environment matters. Yes, ma'am.
The learning environment matters. The word environment refers to both the physical space and the atmosphere or psychological environment in the classroom. The physical environment provides a structure that allows safe exploration, cognitive growth, and challenge. The atmosphere or psychological environment is made up of all the relationships and social interactions that happen in the classroom. A safe, secure, comfortable, and happy classroom environment can help children learn better and achieve more. For this, it is important that the necessary facilities such as learning materials, aids, equipment, and space for doing activities, working together and playing so as to help each child learn better are made available. The classroom must be an inclusive, enabling learning environment that provides every child with respect, openness, acceptance, meaningfulness, belonging, and challenge.
Yes. So as we have discussed earlier, it should be a safe environment, and it should be an environment which allows cognitive development of the child, and child should feel very confident while conversing with the people, while interacting with the people. Okay, the child should feel comfortable and happy in that particular place. All materials that are required to aid the learning of the child are to be made available in the classroom, especially for doing activities or working together and playing with the peers during such situations. Okay, and the classroom should be an inclusive classroom. Okay, wherein enabling learning environment that provides every child with respect. Every child should be respected. Openness should be there with every child. Acceptance should be given to every child. Meaningfulness, every child should feel his presence as a meaningful presence, and he should have feel that there is some belonging, some sense of belonging from the end of teachers and the peers. At the same time, there are challenges to learn always. Next part now.
Learning occurs in particular social and cultural environments. Learning in school becomes meaningful when it connects to students' lives and experiences. Most children grow up with stories, songs, games, food, rituals, and festivals special to their families and community, along with local ways of dressing or working or traveling or living that are an integral part of their everyday lives. The diverse experiences of children must find a place in the classroom. As children grow up, while there may often be a difference between the culture of the student's home and the culture of the classroom, it is important to continue to listen to students' voices and honor their cultural traditions in the classroom.
So, as we have discussed earlier, there should be an acceptance of diverse culture and diversity of the society. So children, grow up with different stories, different songs, games, food, rituals, festivals of their families and their communities. They dress as per that, they work as per that. Okay, even the travel, is affected by their community and their traditions that which they follow. So in a classroom, all these diversities are to be respected. Okay, and the child should feel that after the home, if there is any place wherein he is respected, his culture and his tradition are respected, it should be the classroom, and we should listen to the voice of the student, and we should honor, teacher should promote honoring everyone's culture and traditions in the classroom. That was all about how the children grow. The next section is effective pedagogy for achieving aims of school. So, Chitra ma'am, can you start
And
reading once again?
Yes, sir, yes. Effective pedagogy for achieving aims of school education. As stated in chapter 1 uh, and 1.3, the central purpose of schools as formal education institutions is achievement of valuable knowledge, capacities, values, and dispositions of students. Based on how children learn, some key elements of pedagogy for achieving these aims are described below.
Yeah. Before
Knowledge.
going to that, we will complete this. We will once again interpret this. Like in chapter 1, we have clearly come to know that the achievement of valuable knowledge, capacities, values, and dispositions by the student is the main aim of the school education, and a pedagogy has to be developed to achieve all these things. So, what are the key elements of pedagogy for achieving these aims? They are given below. Suchitra ma'am, you
First
can
one,
continue.
yeah. First one, knowledge, knowing that concepts, theories, principles. Children form concepts and intuitive theories right from infancy. To learn a new theory or concept or principle, students fit this new experience into their existing knowledge and adjust their existing knowledge to allow new experiences in. To
Yes.
help
So
students
as we
notice.
have discussed earlier, children have their own intuitions. Okay.
Hmm.
Theories right from the age of infancy. So what happens to learn a new theory that is taught by the teacher, or to learn a new experience that that is coming across their life? what are they doing? They are trying to fit the new knowledge with the existing knowledge. They are trying to mix up both and understand what it is actually. So they try to adjust this existing knowledge for new experience. Continue now.
To help students do this well, teachers need to structure and sequence the teaching of concepts appropriately. They need to connect new concepts to students' existing experiences and understanding, pose questions that challenge their existing understanding, and make clear demonstrations that push their knowledge, their thinking beyond their existing understanding. All this should take place while ensuring their full participation in open discussions and hands-on activities. Teaching concepts, theories, or principles is disconnected chunks or expecting students to reproduce them in the same way they were received makes true conceptual understanding impossible.
Yes. So here they have clearly said what is the teacher supposed to do. What is the teacher supposed to do? Teacher has to build the concept or deliver the concept, a new concept to the children based upon the understanding of the earlier concept which is already existing in the mind of the child, and demonstrate it in such a way that their thinking goes beyond. Okay, and teacher shouldn't expect the child to reproduce the knowledge that has been shared to him or her in the same way. One thing that we have to keep in our mind is understanding the concept is more important rather than, like vomiting the concept which they have learned from their teacher. Yes, ma'am. Importance of memory, Suchitra ma'am.
Importance of memory. The ancient Indian emphasis on smriti, memory, is critical to learning and development. It has often been misunderstood as an emphasis on rote learning, which in principle and when practiced with fidelity, it is not. Current cognitive science research indicates that smriti, memory, both working memory and long-term memory, plays an important role in cognition and comprehension. Insufficient emphasis on memory often results in inadequate outcomes in the classroom. When we use memory inappropriately, we are ignoring its powers and capacities. Using memory for learning in the classroom encompasses a variety of activities. Deliberate and regular practice, deep processing, generating cues, making connections, and forming associations.
So, when we speak about memory, which is termed as smriti in Sanskrit, there is a big misconception that it is rote learning. It is not rote learning. Okay, regular practice increases the memory, and memorizing things is very much important. So, it develops the cognitive, skills of the child as well as the comprehension skills of the child. Only if there is proper stimulation towards improving memory is there, the child can perform well in the classroom. So the child need to develop, deep processing. He has to develop cues to understand the concepts. Okay, connect to the concepts, which things which are around him, the basic natural and the human world, and also form associations to understand the new experiences which he or she is coming across. Capacities, Suchitra ma'am.
Capacities, knowing how, abilities and skills. Abilities and skills are learned best by doing and they improve with repeated exposure and practice. Good practice involves meaningful variety, must be done in appropriate quantity, and is supplemented with continuous discussions on why certain procedures work and others do not.
So capacities, which means abilities. How can abilities be increased? Only with proper practice and a meaningful practice. Okay, should happen. Then only we can increase the capacities and abilities or skills of the people. Importance of practice. Yes, ma'am.
Importance of practice. Learning is a time-consuming process. Organized, regular, and steady practice yields steady and positive impact on learning. Practicing helps to internalize information, access more complex information stored in long-term memory, and apply knowledge or skills automatically. Across curricular areas, differences in students' performances are affected by how much they engage in deliberate practice. Deliberate practice is not the same as rote repetition. Rote repetition does not improve performance by itself. Deliberate practice involves attention, rehearsal, and repetition and leads to new knowledge or skills that can later be developed into more complex knowledge and skills. When a skill becomes automatic, attention and mental resources can be freed up for higher level thinking and reasoning.
So learning is a time-consuming process, isn't it? Now we are sitting with NCF since many days. This is our ninth day. and we don't know how many days it's going to take for us to complete this document. Okay. And after learning, there is something organized, regular, and steady practice. Okay. That only gives a positive impact on learning. Apart from that, it also helps to internalize information, assess more complex information stored in long-term memory, and apply knowledge or skills automatically. So when you practice properly, what happens? You apply that knowledge that you have gained through practice automatically without any, what do we say? Without any sort of fear, or without, you're confident to apply the knowledge that you have gained. It is the same with curricular areas as well. Deliberate practice should be there in curricular areas. Repetition should be there. It does not improve performance by itself. Deliberate practice involves attention, rehearsal, and repetition, and leads to new knowledge or skills that can later be developed in more complex knowledge and skills. When regularly practiced, it becomes a more complex knowledge in future. So when a skill becomes automatic, attention and mental resources can be freed up for higher level thinking and reasoning. So first, it is important that we get on with the skill. We practice the skill again and again. So what happens, like higher level thinking and reasoning can be done once it becomes an automatic skill. Yes, Suchitra ma'am.
Most teachers are aware of two contradictory facts. Drill can be boring, and yet practice is the only way for the students to master certain procedures. The problem with drill comes when we assume that it will substitute for understanding. Concepts and procedures are two different things, both of which students need to learn. Practice alone cannot lead to conceptual knowledge. Understanding alone cannot lead to mastery of a procedure.
Yes. So there are two things, like here teacher should understand the difference between practice and drill. So when we speak about practice, it is not drill here. Okay, not repeating the same thing. Practicing is applying the knowledge again and again. Okay, which means we can give different types of questions and ask the child to apply the, knowledge that he or she has gained. Okay, so concept and procedure is two different things. Concept is a theoretical thing. Procedure is something which is happening practically. Okay, so children should learn both. Children should learn procedure as well as the concept. One important statement over here is that practice alone cannot lead to conceptual knowledge. If you go on practice, that itself is not enough for conceptual knowledge. Understanding alone cannot lead to mastery of procedure. Okay, so what we need practice, we need understanding. Then only we become a master of any procedure. Next, Sushma ma'am, can you read the next part?
Yes, sir. Hello, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, please
Hello?
continue. You're audible, ma'am. Start reading.
Yeah. Values. Yes. Okay. Values and disposition. Telling students about what values they should develop or uphold usually has a little effect. It either becomes boring or is perceived as preaching. Development of values and disposition in school education happens primarily in the following ways. First one, through school and classroom culture, sensitivity and respect for others is encouraged when opportunities are provided for all students to participate in activities. And select students do not end up participating in all activities. Students also learn from seeing exemplars. Second one, through schools and classroom practices, seeing exemplars, listening to reading stories about particular values, or participating in Bal Sambas and Bal Panchayats that
Sabhas.
help build Bal Sabhas and Bal Panchayats that help build notion of democracy, justice and equality. Third one, as part of learning through school subjects, laboratory experiments and trials help build scientific temper and thinking. Fourth one, as direct goals of some school subjects, learning to win and lose with grace during sports and games helps build resilience.
Resilience. Great, ma'am. So this is
Yes.
all about the values that are supposed to be developed among the children. Values and dispositions. First and foremost thing, if just we sit and say about values, speak about moral stories, and all, children will get bored and they feel that we are preaching them. So other than that preaching, what we can do, we can incorporate value education through activities in the school. First and foremost thing is school and classroom culture. Okay, has to be developed, for which we come up with proper rules and regulations in school, wherein there is sensitivity and respect for others. Okay, is encouraged. Opportunities are provided to all the students, irrespective of their caste, creed, gender, religion, or sex. Okay, and students should not end up participating in all activities. Students also learn from seeing exemplars. There should be examples in the school. Like teachers should set an example for the students. Apart from the true classroom and school practices, like listening or reading to stories about particular value, or participating in Bal Sabha or Bal Panchayat, mock United Nation Assembly, such sort of things are to be encouraged, so that we can instill the knowledge of democracy, justice, and equality in the minds of the students. Apart from that, from school subjects, how can we instill value education and dispositions? Laboratory experiments and trials help build scientific temper and thinking among the students. Okay, that develop scientific temper. Apart from that, direct goals of some school subjects can be achieved, okay, during games and sports. Like from that, they learn that, winning or losing is a part of life, and they have resilience. They develop resilience in life. Importance of questioning. Sushma ma'am, you can continue.
Yeah, there has existed a long and ancient tradition of questioning in India. Debate and discussion have always been held as a critical part of the Indian knowledge tradition. The Upanishads were written in response to the questions of Shishyas. The literal meaning of the word Upanishad is the sitting down of the Shishyas near the Guru. The usual method of argument utilized reason and went from simple to complex, from concrete to abstract, and from known to unknown. In the Katha Upanishad is the powerful story of Nachiketa, a young boy who dared to ask Yama, the lord of death, a very simple but fundamental question: is there life after death, or is death the end? The Brihad Nayaka Upanishad
Aranyaka
narrates,
Upanishad.
Brihad
Aranyak Upanishad.
Aranyak Upanishad narrates the debate of Yajna,
Yajnavalkya.
Yajnavalkya with Janaka and Gargi about the nature of the self. In the
Chandogya.
Chandogya Upanishad, Chandogya Upanishad, Udalaka Aruni debates with his son
Shvetaketu.
Shvetaketu on the nature of the ultimate reality. The Mahabharat's Yaksha Prashna has the famous dialogue between the Yudhishthira and his own father Dharma. At different points in Indian history, there have been extraordinary scholars who were outstanding masters in their respective schools of thought. It was very common among learned people to debate the worth and limitation of these various systems of philosophy publicly. The legendary debates between Adi Shankara and Mandana
Mishra.
Mishra are a good example. Hordes of scholars often came from afar every day to watch and learn from them. These debates between two exceptional masters show how healthy competition existed so routinely among followers of different philosophies. Many such learned masters demonstrated open-mindedness and the willingness to test their faith, beliefs, and philosophies, and if the reason arose, even change their beliefs and the counter of the philosophies. Innumerable Indian scholars had to be accepting towards new concepts, experiments, or questioning in this way. Countless popular stories, such as those of King Vikram and Vetal, of Birbal and Akbar, of Tenali Raman, also bear a testimony to scholars debating and challenging each other through riddles, intellectual games, or profound philosophical questions using simple everyday language.
Yes.
Some
So here
values,
the
okay.
here the whole reference which is given here is about the importance of questioning. So we should promote questioning. we have got 108 Upanishads in the Hindu tradition. So all these Upanishads were the answers that were given to the questions of Shishyas. And apart from that, there were questions that have always happened in between, kings and the people who are in the court, like Akbar and Birbal. So all these things, what happens? They develop a philosophical perspective wherein we have got one subject also in our B.Ed. Okay. Philosophy without education is waste. There is a quote. Okay. And education without philosophy is also waste. So in education, we have to incorporate the ideas of philosophy so that we can nurture students as good human beings, spiritual human beings, balanced human beings. That is the wholesome summary of the above paragraph. Yes. Next, let us go with Suchitra ma'am once again.
So, some values were developed better through particular process illustratively. A regular dialogue and discussions with active listening as part of classroom culture and processes will help develop democratic values, that is, pluralism, equality, justice, fraternity, and appreciation of others' viewpoints. Curricular areas such as art education and physical education and well-being will help build individual virtues. Example, honesty, courage, perseverance, teamwork, empathy, respect for others. Curricular areas such as science and mathematics will help build epistemic values. Example, scientific temper, rigor in reasoning. Marking important days through community service as part of school culture and practices will help build cultural values. Example, Nishkama Karma, Seva, Ahimsa, Shanti, and respect for one's own and others' cultural traditions. Keeping the classroom and school premises clean. Sir, can you please scroll up? Excuse me, sir. Sir, can you
Something that
please
I had
scroll
to.
up?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I hit D. Yes. And tidy reinforces the importance of Swachhata. Practicing, reducing, recycling, and other green practices in school encourages harmony with the environment and sustainable lifestyles. Regular practices at school assembly will help promote pride in India's cultural unity and diversity. Key elements that enable effective pedagogy in the classroom. Ensuring respect and care. Our schools are committed to providing an environment where children feel secure and relationships are governed by care, equity, and respect. Any form of discrimination based on religion, caste, gender, community, beliefs, disability, or any other factor is unacceptable. Teachers must value and respect all students. Classrooms should be spaces that will offer all students equal access and opportunity to achieve learning outcomes. All students will participate in a variety of activities and school processes, not just those with the best chances of success. Our schools will create an environment that enhances the potential and interest of each student. Care is central to learning in schools. Care is an attitude of concern and responsibility for people and relationships. Empathy and respect are at heart of caring. Building positive teacher-student relationships. A safe, positive relationship between teacher and student is enriching both for cognitive and socio-emotional development. Some important ways to build such a positive relationship are. So could you please scroll up? Build positive teacher-student relationship. A safe, positive relationship between teacher and student is enriching both for cognitive and socio-emotional development. Some important ways to build such a positive relationship are getting to know each student individually. This helps understand and plan individualized learning experiences for each student. Listening carefully to students. This conveys care, respect, build trust, and helps students gain confidence.
Yes,
Observing students.
Suchitra ma'am. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So we will continue with this tomorrow. I suppose this is a very big chapter again.
Okay, sir.
Yes. So tomorrow we will start our discussion with the above thing. from here, some values that are to be developed. From here, we will start discussing once again.
Sure, sir.
Okay, yeah. Thank you so much, Suchitra ma'am. Thank you,
Thank you, sir.
everyone. Good evening.
Thank
Good
you. Good evening,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Thank
Thank
you, sir.